Ever wonder what life must be like for megastar Jay-Z? Yeah, we know we have.
To be successful in the street or be successful making music, it would be making music.
The guy is a billionaire. That's a B in case you missed it. In 2019, Forbes magazine conservatively estimated Jay-Z's net worth to be around $1 billion. He's only human after all, and humans love to enjoy themselves. From his absolutely ridiculous cars and houses to his brilliant music releases and business investments, to the way the man spoils his wife and children, and to be clear, his wife is very capable of spoiling herself. Jay-Z is a man who definitely knows how to enjoy his hard-earned money. That's why today we're going to be taking a deep dive into the way Jay-Z spends his billions. Although Jay-Z is a music legend, he is also extremely knowledgeable about cars. His lavish purchases of ultra-luxury vehicles and supercars have made his car collection one of the most impressive in the world. Although he does own many stock vehicles, many of the cars in Jay-Z's garage are one of a kind, like Jay-Z's blacked-out Tesla Model S, his custom Jay-Z blue Yukon SLT with 400 horsepower, his 1966 Alfa Romeo Spider, and his 1957 Chevrolet Corvette. However, these cars don't even scratch the surface of the luxury hidden in Jay-Z's garage. In fact, those were some of his most common or practical cars. Jay-Z's ultra-luxury list includes a $500,000 custom Rolls-Royce Phantom, a $350,000 Armored Darts Prom Braun, a $235,000 Bentley Continental GT, and several Maybachs and Mercedes. When he's late for a show, or the man simply needs some speed, Jay-Z fires up one of his numerous supercars, such as his $220,000 Ferrari F430 Spider or his $2 million Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport. Though we can't be sure exactly how much Jay-Z's entire collection is worth, as it's chock full of customs, we can be sure of one thing: it's definitely in the tens of millions of dollars. From the tens of millions of dollars, there's nowhere to go but the hundreds of millions of dollars, and that's just where we're headed as we take a look at Jay-Z and Beyoncé's incredible mansions. In 2004, before marrying Beyoncé, Jay-Z made one of his first major splashes in real estate, purchasing a 7th-floor penthouse in New York City's Tribeca neighborhood for $6.85 million. This apartment is 8,000 square feet and has 3,000 square feet of a terrace. It's also where the couple eventually held their private 40-guest wedding in 2008. After the wedding, the couple quickly got their hands on an absolutely palatial 7-bedroom, 8-bathroom Miami Beach compound. This stunning mansion is part of an insanely exclusive and expensive Indian Creek Village in Miami's Biscayne Bay. The couple eventually sold the house for $9.3 million in 2010. Don't worry, they weren't left homeless, as they still had their $2.6 million New Orleans home and their $26 million home in the Hamptons. That's not to mention their $88 million mansion in Los Angeles' Bel Air neighborhood. With 6 buildings, several pools, a basketball court, and separate living spaces for the help, Jay-Z's Bel Air digs are certainly his freshest and fit for a prince. Jay-Z's status as music royalty was earned the hard way. With a career spanning over 30 years and several chart-topping albums, the man has amassed over 50 million record sales and has successfully parlayed his success in the hip-hop world into a staggering fortune made as an entrepreneur. As it stands, Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z, is one of the very few musicians who managed to cross the billionaire threshold, and all on the back of some serious hard work. Unable to find a record label to sign him, Jay-Z founded his own Rockefeller Records in 1995 with friends Damon Dash and Kareem Burke. A year later, Jay-Z's debut album Reasonable Doubt dropped and established him as a rising star. A few years later, the man was making millions of dollars with a string of chart-topping albums through the late 1990s into the early 2000s, but Jay-Z hasn't stopped there. In 2017, he signed a 10-year, $200 million touring deal with Live Nation. In 2018, his On the Run 2 tour with Beyoncé had a 48-show run, with each show earning over $5 million. You can be sure these shows contributed in a big way to the $76.5 million Jay-Z earned in 2018. Aside from music, houses, and cars, Jay-Z has spent a lot of money on investments and has earned a lot more in returns. One of his most famous investments in recent years centered around his involvement in the music streaming service Tidal. Jay-Z acquired the company behind Tidal in 2015 for over $50 million and relaunched it with an array of superstar backers like Rihanna, Madonna, Nicki Minaj, Beyoncé, Daft Punk, Coldplay, and Kanye West, all of whom received a 3% stake in the company in exchange for their endorsement. Since then, Tidal has admittedly struggled to compete with bigger names like Apple Music and Spotify, but has still managed to stay afloat with Jay-Z's help. Tidal generated $147.6 million in revenue in 2018, but did end the year with an operating loss. However, with its database of over 60 million songs and 238 employees on a growing payroll, Tidal looks poised for bigger and better things in high-fidelity streaming. The business's current estimated value is approximately $600 million. Streaming isn't the only business Jay-Z has dipped his toes in. In fact, he's involved in the alcohol business in a big way. In 2014, Jay-Z acquired 100% of the champagne label Armand de Brignac, perhaps more commonly known as Ace of Spades because of its iconic logo. Bottles of Jay-Z's bubbly don't come cheap either, as just one of these golden bottles will set you back around $300. The champagne is described as having a hint of baked pastry, vanilla, and toastiness, and was prominently featured in Jay-Z's video for Show Me What You Got. All in all, this acquisition has been a successful one for Carter, as the label is now believed to be upwards of $300 million. In addition to the bubbly, Jay-Z is also a part owner of Cognac Douce, which is a joint venture with Bacardi. This cognac is unique in that it was designed specifically to be used as an ingredient for cocktails, although it is a premium cognac and can be enjoyed neat. Cognac Douce is also a success for Jay-Z, as the label is estimated to be worth around $100 million. What goes hand in hand with buying liquor labels? Why, buying a retro nightclub, of course, and that's just what Jay-Z did in 2003, when he opened up his first location of the upscale 4040 Club in Manhattan. The club's name is borrowed from a baseball term, which designated the exclusive club of players who've achieved the rare feat of managing 40 home runs and 40 stolen bases in one season. After the success achieved by his first club, Jay-Z went on to open locations in Atlantic City in 2005, Las Vegas in 2007, at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn in 2012, and at the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport in 2014. Although the Atlantic City and Vegas locations were ultimately closed, the other three locations continue to be profitable investments for the hip-hop mogul. The 4040 Club was promoted by Jay-Z in his 2003 song Dirt Off Your Shoulder, and its connections to Jay-Z's music have increased its reputation as a venue to see live music and celebrity patrons. Ooh la la. The club is also known for its sports memorabilia, and especially for being the home of autographed gloves from the 1974 Fight of the Century between Ali and Frazier. According to Forbes, the 4040 Club makes Jay-Z over $5 million a year. Although the majority of Jay-Z's expenditures are considered savvy investments, and though he and Beyoncé do own some impressive real estate, the couple has been known to rent out some insanely luxurious digs for their trips abroad. For example, in 2007, Jay-Z rented a 3-bedroom, 76th floor penthouse at the Time Warner Center for $40,000 a month. But that is nothing. Before the couple purchased their $26 million home in the Hamptons, they spent an earlier visit in 2012 renting a Bridgehampton estate for $400,000. That was for the month of August alone. The house was later listed for $50 million, so maybe that gives you an idea of what kind of luxury we're dealing with here. That's not even the wildest of the bunch, though, because in 2017, while pregnant, Beyoncé agreed to play the Grammys. That's remarkable in and of itself, but wait until you hear where she was living. In order to make sure the pregnant Beyoncé would be comfortable during her stay, the couple rented a 10-bedroom, 14-bathroom villa overlooking the Pacific Ocean for a cool $500,000 a month. Yeah, $500,000. I guess you can put a price on comfort. Something you can't put a price on, though, is love. But when you're a billionaire, you sure can give some extravagant gifts to show that you do care. And that's exactly what Jay-Z did for Beyoncé on her 29th birthday. What did he get her? Well, the hip-hop legend bought his wife a private island off the coast of Florida for $20 million. How does that gift card your significant other got you for your birthday look now? We guess that answers the question, what can you get someone who already has everything? An island. But that's not the only ridiculous gift Jay-Z got his beloved. Jay-Z spared absolutely absolutely no expense in ensuring that Beyoncé would become his wife. It's rumored that the ring he got on one knee with cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $5 million. Talk about being put on the spot. The ring was designed by Beyoncé's favorite jeweler, Lorraine Schwartz, and features an 18-karat emerald-cut diamond. Seeing as they're still together and have multiple children together, we'll assume the ring was a good investment. And yes, there is one more good investment that we still haven't mentioned, and that's Carter's involvement with the clothing line Rocawear. Like his record label Rockefeller, Rocawear was a grassroots effort that Jay-Z co-founded in 1999 with his partners. He may have 99 problems, but the success of Rocawear isn't one. In fact, the company was so successful and so widely embraced in the hip-hop community that Jay-Z managed to sell his rights to the brand for a staggering $204 million in 2007, while retaining his company stake and overseeing the brand's marketing. That's what we call striking a good deal. In addition to all his other successful ventures, Jay-Z also owned a piece of the New Jersey Nets from 2003 to 2013 and oversaw the team's successful rebrand and move to Brooklyn. Carter also owns a startup company called JetSmarter, which is like Uber but for private jets. Finally! Oh, and we thought it might be worthwhile to mention his $70 million art collection, highlighted by his purchase of the highly coveted Basquiat piece Mecca, worth $4.5 million alone. Jay-Z and Beyoncé have 3 children together, and they aren't afraid of spoiling them. For their daughter Blue Ivy's first birthday, they gave her an $80,000 diamond-encrusted Barbie. No doubt the spoon they fed her with was made of silver, which would have been consistent with reports that she takes her baths in Evian water. And that isn't even the most insanely expensive birthday gift they gave her. Jay-Z reportedly gave her a $600,000 solid gold rocking horse made by Japanese jeweler Ginza Tanaka. Jay-Z and Beyoncé also make a habit of decking her out in expensive dresses, like the $11,000 dress Blue Ivy wore to the MTV Video Music Awards in 2016. But don't worry, they spoil their other children too. There's plenty of room in the lap of luxury. In fact, the Carters reportedly spent over $80,000 on matching gold cribs for their twins, Rumi and Sir, when they were born in 2017. Jay-Z also rents a room at the Barclays Center where he frequently watches basketball games. He pays $1 million a year to keep the room, which has been converted into a nursery for their children, while the couple enjoys basketball.